time is 8:32 a.m. and the annual business meeting of the membership of the National Auctioneers Association is called to order. My name is Terry Walker, President of the National Auctioneers Association. At this time, I would like to ask Chairman of the Board, Jason Winter, to join me at the podium to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Terry. If you would face the flag, put your hand over your heart and remove any cover. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jason. Now I would like to introduce you to the 2020-2021 Board of Directors. Ailey Byers is completing her first term on the NAA Board of Directors. Kelly Strauss is also completing his first term. Directors whose terms expire in 2022 are John Schultz and Peter Garris. Directors whose terms expire in 2023 are Tricia Brower and Phil Gableman. This is Tricia's second term and Phil's first. Next is our 2020-2021 presidential appointee, Devin Ford. The Vice President of the National Auctioneers Foundation, Jennifer Gableman. And finally, I want to introduce the Chair of the Education Institute Trustees, Sherman Hostetter. Individuals serving on the Executive Committee include Craig King, Treasurer. There he is. The Treasurer tries to stay hidden. Beth Rose, NAA Vice President. Jason Winter, NAA Chairman of the Board. The NAA's Chief Executive Officer, Hannes Convest. And presiding as President today, myself, Terry Walker. We have mourned the passing of several members since last year's meeting. I've asked Jason Winter to come to read their names and remember their lives and the impact they have made on us.
Thank you, Terry. The following members of the NAA have passed away since last July. Please listen, and if you have missed anyone, if we have missed anyone, if you're in the building, please go to the microphone on the floor and state the individual's name, or send to Hannes an email at hcombest@auctioneers.org. Carolyn Babb, Don Buford, James R. Cash, Kathy D. Cole, Roger Dean, Dennis C. Eberhardt, Vern A. Gannon, Carrie H. Hands, Larry S. Hendrick, Ron Henke, Homer R. Henke, Shirley M. Hines, Michael J. McCowan, Jack R. Nitz, Robert Pennefield, Don L. Shear, R. M. Pete Stewart, T. Joseph Tarpley, Dick Whittington, Charles Woodard, John M. Woody, Marvin D. Yeaman. Let's please take a moment of silence to remember these individuals and their contributions to the NAA and the auction industry. Our condolences to their families and friends and for their contributions to the NAA. Thank you. Did I miss someone?
Charles Conower, Renee Bates.
Thank you, Alan.
Vernell Johnson, NAA Hall of Fame member, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry.
This year, we have a slight change in the way we are conducting this meeting. We will begin with the introduction of the candidates and then lead into their speeches. This will provide those of you who are undecided the opportunity to hear directly from them. Voting ends at 10 a.m. Central Time. There is no give me 5 minutes. It's going to end. This is not an automatic extend auction. The elections, whether live or virtual, are being conducted electronically, and they will close immediately at 10 a.m. Central. If you need to get your voting credentials, please do so either through searching your email or asking help within the association voting ballot that you received. If you have questions, please go to the elections desk that is right outside the door and staffed by Brent Weirs, the election committee chair, and NAA staff member Brian Christensen. If you were in the general session yesterday, you will know the order of the speeches as we announced it then. Before we begin, I would like to entertain a motion to adopt the agenda from the program on your seat. This event is being live streamed. If you wish to submit a motion under new business regarding an action for the board to discuss, please send an email to our CEO, Hannes Combest. Be sure to include your name in the message. Her email is hcombest@auctioneers.org. She will then read your message to the membership when it is time for new business.
I move that we adopt the agenda that has been presented.
I second that.
Thank you, Beth, for that motion, and thank you, Jason, for the second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed to the agenda, please say aye. The motion passes. Moving on. Copies of the 2020 annual meeting minutes are available on auctioneers.org. If you have any revisions to the 2020 minutes, come to the microphone if you are in the room, or please send a message to Hannes and she will update them as soon as possible. Unless there are revisions to this document, the minutes will stand approved as presented. If there are revisions, We will print those in the minutes. At this time, I would like to ask Jason Winter, Chair of the Candidate Review Committee, to come to the podium and provide his report.
Terry has a lot of asks this morning for Jason Winter to get up here. Thank you, President Walker. First, I'd like to thank the following individuals who agreed to serve on this committee with me. Jennifer Gableman. Jennifer, thank you. Terry Walker, Mike Fisher, and Charlotte Pyle. This group was charged with working with the leadership to identify the competencies needed by the board, review candidates' eligibility, and fit into the board matrix of competencies and pursuit to the association bylaws, recommending up to a maximum of 3 candidates per position. Candidates had until the end of February to file their documents and declare their intention to be candidates. After March 1, the Candidate Review Committee interviewed all candidates. Each affirmed their understanding of the expectations of their office, and we discussed the skills they bring to the board. After careful consideration, discussion, and debate, the following candidates are submitted by the Candidate Review Committee. For Vice President, the Candidate Review Committee recommends Sherman Hostetler. For the Treasurer, the Candidate Review Committee recommends Ailey Byers and Harold Musser. For Director, we have 2 open positions and 5 candidates the committee recommended, and the committee recommended the following in alphabetical order: Jay Cash, Matt Ford, Morgan Hobson, Jeff Martin, and Joff Van Reenen. All candidates were recommended by the Candidate Review Committee. Earlier this month, I was notified by Joff Van Reenen that he would be resigning as a candidate, as he would not be able to leave South America due to COVID restrictions imposed by the South American government. South African, thank you. South African government. South African government. It was his opinion that he should be here to represent himself in his candidacy and be at the in-person orientation and strategic planning meeting that will be held in August. Since he could not fulfill that obligation, he resigned his candidacy, and therefore there are only 4 candidates currently on the ballot. Members who have cast their vote early for Mr. Van Reenen will not be allowed to change their vote, so there will be some votes that will stand for him. I personally would like to thank all the members of the Candidate Review Committee for their time and dedication. We also would like to thank the members who put forth their names for consideration. The NAA is stronger because of your willingness to serve. On Wednesday, June 16th, I went to the NAA headquarters where our CEO, Ms. Combest, and I drew for the speaking order. This was announced yesterday during the general session. That concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you to the Candidate Review Committee. It is now time that we begin the candidate speeches. I've asked Ms. Combest to serve as the timer. Candidates for the officer positions have 5 minutes to complete their speeches. Directors will have 3 minutes. First up is the lone candidate for Vice President, Sherman Hostetler. Sherm.
Thank you, President Terry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, NAA Board, NAA members. It's my pleasure to stand here in front of you and ask for your vote for Vice President of the National Auctioneers Association. When you come in today, which was a little late, obviously, to pass those out since most people I talked to voted, but anyhow, I had information on my experience in the auction profession. Also, I want you to know that according to the keynote speaker last night, that the Hosteters are doing their job because we average about 4.3 per family. So, yeah, the Lord has blessed us. Also, I want to give a shout out to our mentors, the Kiko family. So if you know them, I want to thank them as well. So let me explain how I became an NAA member, which is back in 1985, and yes, that's 36 years ago. As a second-generation auctioneer, I started off in the setup crew, and it had a lot of heavy lifting, hard work, and long days, and as a young person, it was not my cup of tea. So my passion at that time was golf. I wanted to be a professional golfer. And I played well enough in high school that I got a scholarship to Penn State University, and played well enough at Penn State University that I figured I'm going to try this professionally, which I did from 1978 to 1983. When that did not pan out, I was a lot thinner then, but when that did not pan out the way I had hoped, I remember my father, as if he's standing here telling me today, "Son, it's time to go home and get a real job." He didn't think anything that had playing in the description, playing golf, was a job. So I went back and got into a partnership with my father and brother, and I have great memories of our family auction business. In 1984, my brother went to CAI, and when he came back, he was on fire. And I said, I want that fire. So I decided in 1985 that I would enter CAI. Well, in that process, I had to join the NAA. And at that time, I had to join the Pennsylvania Auctioneers Association, one of their 6 chapters. And I thought at the time, how crazy is this? I got to spend all this money to go, and it was for something that I didn't feel I was going to use, need, or want. So anyhow, I fussed and moaned the whole way to CAI, Bloomington, Indiana. And on the first day, that all changed. And that week, my fire was lit, and I must say my fire was a little brighter than my brother's, but anyhow, my fire was lit that day. And CAI and the NAA literally has changed my life and my attitude. That week, my passion went from golf to the auction profession. Unfortunately, Dad passed away in 1996 and the family partnership ended, so my brother and I went our separate ways. Being a knot-headed German, my goal was to make sure that I succeeded in the auction business on my own and one way or the other. My NAA membership and designations that I earned not only helped me to grow my business, but also gave me a lot of focus in the business as well. When the economy tanked in 2007, and by 2009, I had to make another decision. Thank you. I had to make another decision, and that was, do I go online or do I do real estate only? So we decided to go online. And it's one of the best decisions we made. Literally, though, we had to adapt because there's nothing that we do that's the same way I did prior to 2009. It all changed. So our move to online helped us to be relevant and hopefully into the future. So as auctioneers, we need to continually assess the market and change and adapt as needed. And you're going to hear the word adapt several times here because then the pandemic hit. We had to change again. I watched the NAA board, the Educational Institute, of which I was chairman, the NAA staff, Hannes and Christina, grow and improve our education, moving them to an online platform. The NAA adapted. Valuable NAA education is now more accessible. I'm going to need a little more. Is now more accessible than ever before. I'm taking longer than I had this planned out. But anyhow, believe that our focus will be helped here by us, and to me, I think our NAA focus needs to be us educating auctioneers and helping their businesses grow and their staffs. And because of that, I think we took, we took the train wreck, which could have really happened the last 2 years, and now that train wreck is a nice train ride. I'm just pleased with how everything has come through. So, in conclusion, my family and I have been blessed by this association. You folks are my extended family. I'm excited and confident in the leadership and future of our industry. And as we heard from the keynote speaker last night, I think we have some membership coming. Okay. It's just another second here. I want to thank, you can see how this is going to go the next 3 years. But anyhow, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be here. You, again, are my family, and I appreciate your vote if you voted. I was fortunate, though, to hear that they did not have any write-in spaces, so thank you.
Thank you, Sherm. Our next are the candidates for treasurer. As we announced yesterday, Ailey Byers will be our first speaker. Ailey?
Hi, my name is Ailey, and it's great to see so many of you here and those watching online. Thank you for your passion and interest in the NAA. You elected me to the board 3 years ago in Jacksonville, and now I'm asking each of you for your vote again. We've faced many challenges since that election. 2 years ago, we thought an approaching hurricane and President Tim Mast being stuck in an elevator were big deals. It might have been for Tim, but oh, how naive we were. I'm running for treasurer, and they've given me a whole 5 minutes to talk to you, but I promise to keep it short and come in under budget. The treasurer position is unique on the board. The treasurer leads on financial management and oversight of the NAA. The treasurer must continually compare actual expenses against budgeted expenses, and they must tell the board the honest, naked truth. As your treasurer, I'll be that kind of no-nonsense person. How I was raised has a lot to do with my view of the world. My dad is a decorated Marine, and I come from a long line of entrepreneurs and family business owners. I grew up seeing many people with unflinching dedication, a hard work ethos, and complete honesty. As a second-generation auctioneer, I promise to represent each of you with the integrity and ethics my family instilled in me. My past work history and educational experience show my unique qualifications and how I'd be a huge asset to the NAA as your treasurer. Before returning to our profession, most of my jobs were about finance. At a private resort on the West Coast, I oversaw management of a multi-million-dollar annual budget. For 8 years, I worked at the University of Georgia College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences with a team responsible for the college's annual budget, which ranged between $30 to $250 million, as well as personally being responsible for a $5 million budget. Daily, monthly, quarterly, and year-end, I crunched the numbers, tweaking and making sure they were where they needed to be, and that all my departments were on target. I understand the nature of being accountable for budgets and working to keep them up to date and realistic. Full-time work at UGA and a full-time course load in grad school earned me my master's degree in public administration, a degree designed for graduates to take on leadership and executive positions in nonprofit organizations like the NAA. I hold auctioneer and real estate licenses in numerous states and have 3 NAA designations. As a traditional auctioneer, I call all or part of each of our live, coin, and benefit auctions we conduct. I was a Class 2 CAI instructor for, guess what? Finance. I testified before the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship regarding the Supreme Court Wayfair decision and its effects on us and millions of business owners like us. At the NAA's annual Day on the Hill, I've met with senators, representatives, and even members of the executive branch. We have formed working relationships with think tanks and staff at all levels of government. This past year, we also created a financial handbook for the board, a reference book of sorts for board members to understand institutional monthly financial reports and become better stewards of NAA resources. I believe that my skills in management, budgeting, and policy are vital for the leadership team that takes the NAA into the future. I love challenges and never shy away from hard work. Each day is a chance for us to do better and to be better. I'm an elected official in my hometown, and I serve on 5 additional nonprofits and committees and boards. My auction career is a gift from my family. Even though I worked outside the profession after college, I came back because just like you, I love the thrill of auctions and the freedom it affords me. I'm passionate about enjoying and preserving the nature wonders of our world. The auction profession gives me the ability to climb, ski, and sail. And I'm grateful that my job That threw me off. Feeds all my passions. The hard work of previous boards and treasurers have left us in a good position to weather the storm of 2020. I pledge to strengthen the NAA through our savings and investments. Now it is time to rebuild and replenish such that we are ready for both new opportunities and challenges. Right here, right now, with your help and my experience, together we can lead the NAA into the future. Decisions are made by those who show up, and I am here, 100% ready from day one. I know the NAA finances inside and out. There is no learning curve. My name is Ailey, and I hope I've earned your vote. It would be an honor and privilege to continue to serve you, the membership. Thank you.
Thank you, Ailey. Next up is Howard Musser. Harold Musser. Mr. Musser, how would that work? No, you didn't. You did not.
That's okay. Good morning. My name is Harold Musser, and what a privilege to be here today with you all. I never dreamed once that I would be up here, but like back in February, I answered the call, and my phone rang, and I was asked, Harold, would you put in your name for the NAA treasurer? I said, I'll have to think about it. And I thought about it for about 4 days to the last minute. I am thankful enough to be and privileged enough to be a second-generation auctioneer. Our company was started by my father, Robert Musser, back in 1956. Today, I go to work every day, and I share that work day with my son, third-generation auctioneer, my grandson, the fourth-generation auctioneer. Here about a month ago, we went to my great-grandson, and we said, Charlie, what does the auctioneer say when he's done selling? He says, sold. Dad went to auction school in 1956, and it was a pivotal time for our family. When I look back and see in 1956, one decision has changed our life completely. And that's what's going to happen today. The decisions that are made today is going to have a huge impact on this association that we all love. Dad came back home from auction school in 1956, and I was 5 years old, and he'd go around the house, and it was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 rubber baby buggy bumper. At that time, my name is Harold Musser. But like a little kid, mimicking his dad, I started to pick that up, and I started to say those tongue twisters around the house because Dad practiced all the time. And in a month and a half, my grandfather, he noticed, you know what? Harold doesn't stutter anymore. Haven't really stuttered since. I'm thankful for that. 5th grade, my mom came over to the 5th grade East Side School and picked me up, and I went over to the high school and did a cake auction for the cheerleaders, the big kids. And I found out I could do something that they couldn't do. Gave me a lot of confidence. That was a great feeling. And then as Dad taught auction school for 30-some years with Western College of Auctioneering, and he always helped people. So when I was a senior, Dad was up in Canada. I was called out of class down to the principal's office. My mom was on the phone. She said, Harold, the guy in the hotel down here sold his hotel. Like to have you come to the auction. Would you want to do it? I said, yeah. At the time, I was making about $1.50 an hour working for my uncle at the gas station. We went down that weekend. We had the auction at the hotel and made $90 in 2 hours, and that turned my head around. That was a long ways for this kid. 1974, got my real estate license, and I believed if you're going to sell real estate, you better believe in it. And that means you better invest in it. And I went all in. I didn't have anything. Bought my first house in 1975. Dad co-signed the loan for $3,500. I got $20,000 long term, and I've been investing in real estate ever since. 1996, in that area, we decided as a company that we wanted to increase our education. I better find out, see how much phone. 1 minute. Oh, my word. Today, we have offices in 4 states. We did 87 auctions in the last 12 months. These auctions were real estate, farm, ranch, industrial, trucks, and auto. Estate auctions. I serve on the executive committee of the Forward Cody Board, our economic development board at home. I'm a past president of Wyoming Auctioneers Association, and I'm on the airport board helping them do their money. Folks, today, as I said, it is a pivotal time for the NAA. Please remember who has the experience, the good judgment. I've been there, done that, and I'll do you a good job. I'll throw everything I have at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harold. We will now move to the candidate for director. Remember, you have only 3 minutes. The first is Jay Cash. Jay?
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Jay Cash, and I'm from just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, where I make my home with my wife, Lisa, my 2 really cool children, Perry and Gentry, who are 3 years old and 7 months old, and 100% of our livelihood is derived from the auction profession. One of my very first auctions was October 20th, 1984. I've actually got the brochure from that day. My mom and dad were having a huge estate auction in southern Illinois. They sold the farmland, the farm machinery, they sold the livestock, even pots and pans out of the house. My mom was the cashier, my dad was the auctioneer, and 4 days later, I was born. The auction industry is the only industry I've ever been a part of. Growing up in Western Kentucky, I assure you, I was not running on a soccer field or playing sports, but I was running clerk tickets, hauling out boxes, setting up tables, sometimes standing out in the cold, snow and rain, wondering if I would ever make it home. And I had no idea that those experiences early on in life would be so impactful to me later on. And I think a little bit of that is similar to some of our experiences within the NAA. You may not realize it right at the time when you participate or show up or just get involved with the NAA, how valuable and impactful it can be on your business. But after a little bit of time, you start to realize the value it has and how it can help grow your business. And that is why we are all here, to grow our business. So, why vote for Jay Cash? Well, here's a few things that I believe. I believe time's our most valuable commodity, and once you spend it, it's gone forever. And I want to make certain that any time an NAA member invests their time or money into a program, that you get the highest return on your investment as possible. I believe in the value of all people, and I'm going to make it my mission to serve being mindful of all auctioneers, no matter where they are in their path of life. I also believe that everything rises and falls on leadership. From conducting fundraisers across North America, real estate auctions, from liquidating contents from a business or an estate. I understand the frustrations and headaches that each and every one of you deal with daily, because I deal with them too. I'm in the trenches with you every day. We are only on earth for a short period of time, and none of us get to where we are in life by ourselves. I stand before you here today as a 16-year member of the NAA. My father, an NAA member for 43 years, up until the day that he died. An auctioneer, I'm licensed in 14 states, and I tell you all of this to give you a small glimpse of who I am. A 3-minute speech will never do it justice, Hannes. But I pledge to commit to each and every one of you the next 3 years of my life to support you and your families who make your livelihoods and income from the auction profession. You can all be a catalyst for change when you cast your vote for Jay Cash, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jay. Next up is Jeff Martin. Thank you.
Good morning, Minneapolis. I'd like to thank the Minnesota Auctioneers Association for a great conference week so far. My name is Jeff Martin, and I am sincerely asking for your vote for a seat on the Board of Directors. Having grown up in the auction industry since 1972, 100% of our family income has been derived from this industry. It has become my mission to give back to the association and to the industry that has so graciously afforded my family the opportunity to grow from one location in South Carolina to a multi-state location with almost 100 employees across this nation. The NAA board needs members who are willing to step up and use their expertise and leadership to advocate for each and every one of us as members. I want to be that voice. I want to be your voice. I am a firm believer that when one of us succeeds, it helps the entire organization. Think of all the talent in this room, along with those watching virtually. Together, we're very strong. Together, we can build a better National Auctioneers Association. In the coming year, several decisions will be made, from hiring a new CEO, Hannes, thank you for your service, to the online data that the NAA made a statement on. Thank you, Board, for your commitment to that. These decisions will be hard decisions. They will have consequences for years to come. By listening, truly listening to us, the membership, the NAA can provide better resources to grow the association. Over the past year, the auction industry has changed. Auctioneers faced obstacles they've never encountered. Many had to convert to online platforms, whether they were ready or not. Those that had online systems in place were able to continue operations with very little change. Those that did not had to play catch up. I am very pleased to see the position the board sent out about online providers and best practices. Many of you know how I feel about that, and I've been vocal about it. I appreciate the effort y'all made. Auctioneers, bid callers, and other industry professionals are major contributors to the economic engine of the USA. There has never been a better time to be in the auction industry. We as professionals need to work together to move our association forward and continue the trends of adaptation and resiliency. I want to use my experience in running a successful auction company to help the NAA prosper along with each of you. Thank you again. I appreciate this opportunity. I humbly and sincerely ask for your vote for one of the positions of Board of Directors. You have my word that my decisions will be guided by my faith and what is best for the National Auctioneers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Next up, Matt Ford.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Ford. I'm a second-generation auctioneer from the great state of Kentucky, where our horses are fast and our bourbon is smooth. And all of my notes just fell. And they didn't go in the correct order. First, I want to say thank you to all the candidates running this year. I know that the NAA is going to be in great hands when this is all over. This association holds a great, significant place in my life. I've attended over 30 conventions, and I can vaguely remember being here some 37 years ago when I was only 5. When I think about what members are looking for in a board of directors, I think you want someone that is all in. This business has provided for me and my family for decades. I'm dedicated to education, with receiving my CAI designation almost 20 years ago, AMM designation, and I've served as a past president and director of our state associations, and I'm willing to serve you. I think that you want someone on this board that isn't scared of work, someone that has put up tents, someone that has catalog sales, someone that knows how to set up an auction, someone that knows how to make payroll, and someone that in today's market knows how to hire employees. Members, I feel like I can be your voice on this board. I believe that membership wants someone that recognizes the challenges in our industry. Big tech is trying to take a stronghold on this industry. I can't say that I can stop it, but I can say that I'll always fight for the best interest of the auction entrepreneur and encourage the education of the NAA members on the pros and cons of building their own platform, as well as their pros and cons of signing with a large vendor. I want to say thank you to this board for the great step forward that you all did this past week. I believe you also want a member that embraces growth in our association. I have a track record of growing things. Yes, we need more members, and yes, we need to embrace the past, but we need to bet the farm on growing membership. We need unity in this association. We don't need to fight about everything. I make this commitment, win, lose, or draw, I will be here next year. I want to be known for what I'm for and not what I'm against. Fellow NAA members, I'm ready to serve you. If you're looking for someone that cherishes the NAA's past, embraces growth, understands this business, and is willing to build unity in our organization, please vote for this 1978 model Ford. It would be an honor to serve you. May God bless you, this association, and our great nation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Matt. Next up is Morgan Hobson. Morgan?
Good morning. My name is Morgan Hobson, and it is with much excitement that I stand in front of you this morning. It feels so good to be back at Conference and Show in person. Well, throughout my childhood, my parents ingrained in me that we should support causes that we care about most, causes that are knowledgeable of our communities and industries' issues and needs, causes that will make a positive difference in the lives of others and enrich our communities. I watched closely over the years as they've invested their time, grown from the education provided, and given freely their support and knowledge, always being reminded, service above self. So 10 years ago, when the NAA membership form was handed to me at the end of auction school, I didn't hesitate. I knew that I wanted to be a part of an association that could help me grow both personally and professionally. A community that had like-minded ethics, that would challenge me to be on the forefront of our industry and would support me along my journey. And what I found in the NAA was exactly that. Throughout my NAA membership, I've had members coach me, put me on the auction block, encourage me, and challenge me to be the best version of myself. Because of the foundation that the NAA members have helped me build, I strive to be a leader for our membership. A leader that you feel that you can confide in, and someone whom you can speak to candidly without fear of judgment, knowing that I will be transparent and direct, yet tempered with understanding and compassion. A leader that you trust to be a voice for our association, having confidence that I have your best interest at heart. During my time as an NAA member, I've had the privilege to earn my CAI designation, serve on multiple committees, including CNS Education Committee, Community Committee, IEC Committee, as an active member of the Speakers Bureau, a state ambassador, and an IEC ambassador. And for the past 2 years, I've worked diligently on the FFA task force to continue to build a platform to educate our youth about the auction industry and the auction method of marketing. Throughout serving in various capacities, I've learned that leading an association is very similar to my time as a violinist playing in a symphony orchestra. You see, in a symphony, each musician has a voice, and each musician has certain responsibilities throughout the piece. Certain instruments may have a melody, while other musicians are keeping the rhythm. Occasionally, you may need to spend additional time working on a certain portion of the piece to ensure that the entire symphony is in sync. However, every musician has one common goal: to bring that piece of music to life. In a similar way, this applies to serving on the board and emulates our association. There are times when it's better to listen than speak, times when we need to help amplify another's voice or address a challenging situation, but at the end of the day, everyone on the board is serving for one common goal: to serve auction entrepreneurs with services based on our 4 cornerstones, and for the NAA to be the voice of the auction profession. Being on a board isn't about one voice. It's about every single one of our voices coming together to serve the association that we love. I believe in the future of the NAA and our industry. Today, I ask you to use your voice and vote in this election. I'm ready to support, lead, and inspire our membership. I humbly ask for your vote. It would be an honor to serve our association as a director. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan, and to all the candidates, good luck. Remember, to NAA members, you must cast your vote electronically by 10 a.m. Central this morning. Today, this morning, 10 a.m. Central. 10 a.m. Central. If there is a tie, we will announce a new ballot. An email will be sent to all the members at 1 p.m. Central Time. It will close this afternoon at 4 p.m., and we will announce the results at the President's Gala this evening. For now, would you please make a motion to recess NAA's annual business meeting so we can move into the Foundation's annual business meeting?
I move to recess NAA's annual business meeting.
I second that.
Thanks to Beth for making this motion and Jason for the second. All who approve the motion to take a brief recess for the Foundation's annual business meeting, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say aye. This meeting is recessed until the end of the Foundation's meeting. Please keep your eye on the clock. The election closes at 10 a.m. Central Time. Okay, y'all, let's switch these.
Well, National Auctioneers Association members, as is tradition at Conference and Show, please prepare yourself to be generous and pass it forward. Leading us in our fundraising efforts for the National Auctioneers Foundation this morning, please welcome auctioneers Susan Johnson and Kurt Johnson.
Good. Gotta love that music. I am so glad to be here. We're so glad to see all of you, to be generous in just a second. Susan, where are you?
Kurt, you told me this was a virtual event.
We're done with virtual events. This is hybrid. Would you please get up here?
Oh, okay.
Give her a round of applause, folks, as Susan comes up here. Had to try a little sense of humor. Right now, we are going to help you help yourselves with the foundation. I want to give some instructions very quickly on how to give. Many of you have generously given, and you can give again, but if you've already made a commitment, please don't give again. But stay with us. We're going to go through many levels of giving, and just don't forget, you're on your phone. You could go to an email. You could check your phone or email for a text from Greater Giving. It should be coming to you right now. You hit the link, and you'll be able to give at any level you feel comfortable with. Now, if you did not receive the text or email, especially our friends out online, you may register at nafdn.ggo.bid or text this number, and operators are standing by. Or if you want to call, you can go 239-246-2139. And also, to make it easy, because we want everybody to have a chance to give, on the table are cards.
You may have sat on them, so make sure. And Kurt, I'm going to correct you. The link to text to give is nafdn2021.ggo.bid.
You know, that's what this benefit auctioneers and those of you who work with scripts, I'm reading my script and you have somebody correct you. That's awesome. And right now we want to pass it forward. You know, the foundation has done amazing work for us in this last year. The education that went on.
It's been incredible.
Yeah, we went virtually. They taught us how to go from virtual to live auctions to moving on and how to handle this stuff. The education that took place.
The foundation has been very instrumental in putting on the virtual conference last year that many of us enjoyed. Who in this room enjoyed the virtual conference last year when we couldn't be in person?
Right.
Thank you, Foundation and members.
And I know that the foundation was paying for the education for all of us to transition. If you had to go to virtual, if you had to learn how to do special messaging on your funded needs, you had a special messaging to your clients, the videos we've learned.
It's been incredible. And speaking of videos, we have a very special video from one of our dear friends, our Chief Executive Officer, who has led us through the challenging times of last year, Ms. Hannes Combis.
I hope your time at the International Auctioneers Conference and Show, whether live or virtual, has been good. This morning, I would like to share with you the importance of the National Auctioneers Foundation. I'll do this quickly, but it's important for you to understand because you are the foundation. Your donations helped NAA back in 2008 when I first started. We had debt on the building because of some renovations that had occurred at NAA. And at that time, if you will remember, NAA was in a precarious financial condition. The foundation paid that debt so that the NAA could focus on building a strong organization. 12 years later, the foundation did it again by financially supporting all of the education programs in 2020 because of the pandemic. This allowed NAA to continue to serve you in other ways, through our website, initiating a public-facing blog, initiating a members-only podcast, continuing to provide Auctioneer, our award-winning publication on a bi-monthly basis, and much more. NAA couldn't have done that without the Foundation's support. The support given by you, the donors to the Foundation, has been critical in implementing our youth programs, including providing curriculum for 5th grade teachers all the way through high school with our SAEs that we developed in coordination with the FFA. These programs will introduce auctions and this great profession to all of these students and their families going forward. You as a donor to the Foundation have provided all of this, plus scholarship support, making it possible for individuals to attend various educational opportunities to help them be successful. Many years ago at CAI, I heard the chant, "Auctioneers helping auctioneers." We all respond, "Aha!" That's what this is. That's what you do. This is my last conference and show at NAA, but I hope you will remember this. Our work is not done, and I hope you will continue to provide your donations and support to this great organization, because you truly are auctioneers helping auctioneers. Aha.
Give a round of applause.
Our friend Hannes.
Auctioneers helping auctioneers.
Aha. Okay, one more time. Auctioneers helping auctioneers.
Aha. And the fact that auctioneers in the past gave to the foundation, they were passed it forward and made a difference and helped all of us. And now it's our time to do that again for more education and for more scholarships.
That's right. And we are going to, in tradition, start at a high number and work our way down. But remember, every dollar matters, no matter at what level that you have already pre-committed or have already donated today. Every dollar truly does matter for us to take our education to the next level.
And like we learned through the foundation and the education and the fundraising world, we learned to start high, but what else do we make sure we do when we have an event like this?
We have pre-committed donors that want to kick us off at different levels.
And I'm very excited to start at this level from a friend of mine, member of the Minnesota State Auctioneers Association, from North Dakota, a $10,000 gift from Mr. Scott Steffes. Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you very much. Would anybody else like to come in at $10,000? Just raise your hand up. Thank you, Scott. That's really important for us to get it going.
And at the next level, we have several individuals that have also stepped up.
The $5,000 level we have Mickey Fowler. Thank you very much, Mickey. Anybody else want to come in at $5,000? Right back there, Mr. Judd Graff comes in at $5,000.
Thank you
President
so very
of the Minnesota
much.
State Auctioneers Association. Generous, generous, generous. Thank you, Judd Graff. And a shout out to your dad who's watching right now.
We have Ruth Lynn that came in at $4,000. Thank you so
Thank you
very much, Ruth.
From
Thank you
this
so
great
very
state
much.
of Maine.
Going to our next level at the $2,500 level, we have several pre-committed donations, and I'll read just a few of them. Kent Corbett, the Nitz family, the McCurdy Auction family, Mike Fisher, Joseph Mast, all at the $2,500 level.
Yes, and we got Tommy Rawl from the great state of Georgia. We got Bill Sheridan from Michigan, Jen and Phil Gableman, Scott Mahalik, and of course our favorite, Anonymous. Who else wants to join them at $2,500? Raise your hand if you can do it $2,500. I know a lot of you have committed. So, Christy, no, yes, okay. You're saying, when you raise your hand during an event like this, ma'am, I'm going to take your money. Okay, but we have already mentioned the card. If you have a card you want to fill out, you can hand it to Christy or one of the staff.
Charlotte Pyle just came in at $2,500.
Woohoo! All right. All right, let's go on to the $1,000 level. This is a fun level to give at because when we do our events, a lot of people come in here, and that happened here. At the $1,000 level, please. Scroll this board. There we go. Thank you.
We have Sandy and Gail Aldefer. We have Hannes Combis. We have Rick Hisson. We have Sherman Hostetter Jr., David Hulsman, Tommy Hunt, Mike Jones, Doak and Wendy Lambert, and Damian Massett.
We got Tim Mass, John Nichols, Lori Rose, Beth Rose, Scott Schumann, Stan Vaught, Terry and Lance Walker, David Warren, and the Wyoming Auctioneers Association. And more are coming in here. We have boards coming in here. Thank you very much.
We had Christine Flattablow. I saw her pop up also.
Right.
Mark Manley.
At $1,000, coming in at $1,000. We have Merle Booker coming in at $1,500. Benny Fisher at $2,000. Scott Medema at $2,000. Folks, people are bringing the money in like crazy. You can fill these out and you can hand them in. And at the $1,200 level, thank you, Connie, my wife, Johnson, for doing that. Thank you very much. At $1,200, we have done the 12 by 12 many times, folks. With Benny Fisher brought it up to us, and they do $12 a month for 12 months. That's $144. But if you can do $100 a month for 12 months, that's $1,200. What's the next level? We got to get moving here.
Oh my goodness, we have
at the $500 level. Please roll it through, gentlemen, at the board. $500 level. Put to the next screen, please. Okay, we are going to move there. Thank you very much.
All right, Jason Winter at $800. Camille Booker at $750. Nick Bennett. Barbara Bonnet, Butch Booker, Jay Cash, JJ and Tracy Dower, all at $500. Peter Garris, Christy King, Rusty Lang, Lemons Auctioneers, Scott Robertson, Eve Rojas, John Schultz,
Randy and Bob Ruder, Chuck and Valerie Sutton, Larry and Sherry Thur, Wade Bear and the McClures. But I tell you what, we have a $5,000 contribution from Jeff and Kelly Martin. We have
Excellent.
$1,000 from the Iowa Auctioneers Association. Brooke Gillespie, thank you for your contribution. 144 level. Susan and Robert Doyle, their generosity never stops. They are in at the $1,000 level. Folks, we have more coming. We have Harold Musser. We have Kathy Baber. I'm throwing these cards not because I don't like them, but because I got to move on to the next one. We have Darren Mears at $1,000. The money is rolling in.
I'm
Folks,
telling you, Scott Schumann at $1,000. I got Andy M. Holt at $500. We have more
Beth
cards.
Rose at $1,000. We have Janine Huseman at $500. Scott Musser at $1,000. Lori Rogie at $1,000.
We have more
Tommy
cards
Hunt.
coming up.
It is rolling across the board. We are at $89,000. No, we're not. It's keep going.
$91,000.
Jane Campbell Chambers at $1,000. Thank you, Christy. We have Bracky Rogers, bless your heart, brother, at $500. He never stops giving, folks.
And from all the way from Hawaii, Geneviese's at $500.
Okay, Stephen Lurie at $250. Sandy and Gail, we're up to $92,000, folks.
Oh no, we are over $93,500, ladies
Isaac
and
Schultz.
gentlemen. Jay Cash II.
We have
$500.
Dr. Donna Thank you, Barito. I appreciate it. I wanted to get it right.
Friends
but I
of the Wyoming Auctioneers Association,
Thank you very much.
$1,000.
Remember, all of you online, you can do text give. It's on the screen. You can go to the website. You can call it in. We'll take your money any which way you can, folks. This money is a complete pay it forward. If you have a card left, please pass it in. We want to keep this moving and get on. But the generosity.
Wade Bear, $500. We're going to get there. I have Willie Baker at $250.
Rick Brock at $500. We're at $97,000 right now.
Lloyd Ferguson at $250.
We
Ty
have Nancy
Patton,
Manning
Butch
at
Booker at
$250.
$500.
We
Ladies
have
and gentlemen,
Christopher
we are
Vaughn
very, very
at
close.
$250. Folks, we are come on, push it
Now,
over.
wait a minute. Come on. $98,000.
Ruth.
Who's going to push us over the top here, ladies and gentlemen? We are almost there. $99,057.
When we hit 100,000, we're going to clap. We got Scotty Gibbs.
Are we going to do
we
it?
have $1,000 from Mark Rogers.
Woo!
Carl Roddy at $1,000. We just went over $100,000. Deanna Roddy, folks, at $1,000.
Shane McCarroll,
we have $500 from somebody I
$500.
can't read their name because their handwriting is worse than mine. We have Jeff Pittman coming in. We have Craig Bedford at $1,000. Folks, keep the money coming in because this is money. This is one thing when you give, and we raise a lot of money, right? You all raise money across the country. This is money we're raising for ourselves. So when you're giving the money, you're kind of just passing it around, passing it forward to somebody else. You're helping that person who helped you, and we're doing it to somebody we don't even know. I love to see all these candidates coming up, the young candidates, the experienced candidates. We have a diverse association, and it is making a difference. Who do we have here?
Nicole Pirro at $144. Scott or Kurt, we have the thermometer up on the screen.
There it
They
is.
see the live amount. But remember, every dollar truly does matter. And from the bottom of my heart and Kurt's heart, we want to thank you personally for what you have done today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You have given, you continue to give. We're going to wrap this up. Keep putting the numbers in. We will get you a final total. They're rolling in. We've got to pick up this mess. Give yourselves an amazing round of applause. Oh, we got one running in. Scott Robertson. Don't break a hip, brother. I saw that birthday party notification.
I got the other Scott.
Marvin Alexander coming in. Thank you so very much. And we also have Brett Walters, attaboy, Brett from Minnesota coming in from the Graph Auction Company.
And David and Ann Winokur at $100 as well.
All right.
Morgan Hobson. So thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
very much. God bless you. Thank you for your generosity. We'll be back soon.
Can the Foundation Board please join us on the stage?
I think it's on there. Ross, Jane, hand me and turn to the back.
Very back?
Oh, that's our section. There's a tab there.
Which is me.
Uh-huh. Jane, that's Kristen Schulman. Jane, that's... Yeah, that's... But there'll be more. Okay, yeah, we'll just say that it's the majority. We don't have to. Yeah.
Not supposed to touch those, am I, guys? So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. What an amazing fundraising event that we just had. Give yourselves a huge round of applause one more time. Thank you for helping auctioneers. Aha. The time is now 9:34, if you will, and I do now call this meeting to order. At this point, we really do have some business that we would like to attend to, and I'd like to start by introducing your National Auctioneers Foundation Board of Trustees. These individuals have continued to give of their time and their resources, their financial resources, to make sure that the foundation is successful in providing the NAA and, more importantly, to advance and enrich the auction community. To all of the trustees, please stand and remain standing until I finish recognizing you all. For those trustees whose term is expiring this year, 2021, Sid Miedema, Scott Robertson, Scott Steffes. For those trustees whose terms expires 2022, Damian Massart, Scott Mahalik, and Joseph Mast, who was not able to attend conference today. And those individuals whose term is expiring in 2023, Merle Booker, serving a second term, Ruth Lind, Megan Needens. Krista Sherman also served as the representative of the Legacy Youth Scholarship Committee, and there's more to come on that in just a little bit. Jason Winter also served on the board as the NAA representative for the year 2020-2021. Your officers are Jay Nitz, immediate past president, Jennifer Gableman, vice president, Bill Sheridan as treasurer, and myself as Christy King, president. Please give this board a huge round of applause because they have worked tirelessly. "2020, in case we didn't know this already, was a strange year. Man, one we will always remember, and everyone will remember how odd it really was. The donors of the foundation, though, did not let us down. We were able to raise enough money through our Pass It Forward last year to fund the second part of our pledge that we made to the NAA in 2020 in helping fund the education. Thank you. Thank you to our donors. And those funds did not come from our endowment as we have promised. We also took a very big step in working with the NAA and staff to redesign our website.
Madam President, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but would you look at the screen?
Yeah, we're going to tell it tonight. Y'all are awesome. Yeah, we just set a record, but keep it coming. We also took a very big step in working with the NAA, as I said, to redesign our website. And if you've not had a chance to see our website, I invite you to go to auctioneersfoundation.org and take a look. It's much brighter, more modern, and I think it has information that our donors want to see. Thank you to Sid, Ruth, and Jennifer for their hard work on this, along with Aaron Ships, NAA's Director of Marketing and Communications. Again, thank you for your hard work on that. Our hope is to, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Hannes. Our hope is to continue to work on the foundation's marketing efforts, and as a result, we expand our donor base. We also spent time reviewing our policies and our processes, which are mine and Hannes's favorite things to work on, to ensure that we are stable moving forward. One of the things that I'm very pleased to announce is the establishment of the Kathy Kingston Memorial Endowment Fund. A group of donors approached us with the idea of ensuring that Kathy's legacy continues. They dedicated themselves and raised the required $50,000 so this fund would be established. The original corpus of these funds came from money that Kathy helped raise at the Benefit Auction Summit. And once funded, the Kathy Kingston Memorial Education Fund will continue to supply funds to outside speakers for the summit and other other funding needed. Thank you to Scott Robertson, Connie Johnson, Kurt Johnson, Carol Miller, Kathy McPherson, and Lynn Zink for driving these efforts, and every single one of you who helped us raise that $50,000 mark. Kathy, we love you all, and we miss you. We also lost an incredibly special friend of the foundation this year, Don Shear. Don was very instrumental in the children's auction that we hold each year. He got sponsors. He was there to help prepare the event, and he was so great with the children. It was his event. As a result, this spring, the trustees voted, with Janet's blessing, to rename the children's auction to the Don Shear Memorial Children's Auction. We are very pleased to be able to keep Don's memory and legacy alive. And I invite you to join us Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and participate in the auction and take some time to remember Don during this very special time. Now I'd like to invite Bill Sheridan to come up for our treasurer's report and reporting it to the membership. Bill?
Thank you, Christy. Good morning, members of the National Auctioneers Foundation. It has been my pleasure to serve as your treasurer for the past few years, but I would like to report on the foundation's finances as of today. As most all of you know, we have a fiscal year with the foundation that begins June 1st, and it began June 1st of 2020 and ended May 31st, just recently, of 2021. Last year, the Board of Trustees of the foundation again employed Maher & Company to conduct an audit of the foundation for 2019 and 2020 to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements were free of material misstatement. The audit included assessing and accounting principles used and significant estimates made by management and overall financial statement presentation. After careful examination, Maher & Company determined that the National Auctioneers Foundation is in conformity with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States. Copies of that audit, if you're interested, are available on auctioneersfoundation.org, and we do have several copies in the back of the room. And that audit, I might add, is clean without exceptions. For our fiscal year ending right now, May 31st of 2021, I'm very proud to report on behalf of the Board of Trustees that the National Auctioneers Foundation ended its fiscal year in good, sound condition. A few of the 2020-21 financial highlights are as follows. But the statement I just made is extremely important, ladies and gentlemen, because we were asked over a year ago by NAA if we could take a look at making an investment in education because of some of the circumstances coming about because of the pandemic, the fact that we were not able to have a live conference and show, we were not able to have CAI, we were not able to have live educational opportunities, and it was definitely going to impact the educational budget of NAA. After careful deliberation from this board, and their very generous message was, we will help NAA 100% to fund their education budget. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your help, because we were able to do it because of what you have just done here. Thank you so much. That's what we do. That's what the foundation is for, is In times of stress, we come in and try and smooth the road out for NAA, and we did. We're very proud of that. First, I would like to say that last year we did budget because we weren't sure just exactly what color this conference and show was going to look like without it being live. So we budgeted a very conservative number of $50,000 for our Pass It Forward fund to need. As of May 31st in 2021, we had collected $102,748. That is awesome and due to your donations and generosity. Thank you so much. For the 2020-21 fiscal year, we ended our year, of course, on May 31st with the following. Total revenues without market interest were $138,466. That's total revenues without market interest. Our total expenses were $153, and of course, that reflects our investment in the education budget. Our net revenue, after all we were able to invest in NAA's budget, was a negative $15,000. That's a tribute to what we were able to utilize from the Pass It Forward. However, because of past efforts, we don't show a negative as we start every year because we harvest and make sure that every year we start with $100,000 in our checking account. And at the end of every year, we scrape our account and put that overage, over $100,000, into the endowment fund. We have not done this for the last 2 years because of our increased commitment to the National Auctioneers Association and education funding. However, we have not had to use any, I repeat, we have not had to use any restricted funds to make these program donations. Thank you. And I'm also very pleased to report that as of May 31st in 21, the end of our fiscal year, we had $1,768,000 in our endowment. Your Board of Trustees for the National Auctioneers Foundation is committed to ensuring that the National Auctioneers Foundation remains true to its vision and mission statements, which is to provide funding and support to the National Auctioneers Association and to advance and enrich our auction community. Your previous support is greatly appreciated, and your future support is necessary to guarantee that the successful achievement of these objectives are able to happen. And I'm proud to report that as I see it, Jay, you correct me if I'm wrong, we are at $139,000 now.
We weren't going to tell it, but it's okay.
Okay, well, I would say that broke the record, and we have accomplished a very, very good milestone here, and thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, for everybody that's looking online already sees the number. But anyway, we're going to announce the grand total. We do need a little bit more to hit that next mark. Always a fundraiser, just saying. So again, thank you, Bill. Now we would like to move on into our election portion of our meeting. A year ago, we passed the following voting procedures. A slate of candidates for vice president and trustees have been presented to the membership for vote through association voting, the system used by the NAA. All candidates have been vetted by the executive committee. Since the slate of candidates do not have any contested positions, the membership was asked to affirm the slate of candidates. For 2021-22, we have no contested elections. Now I would like to recognize your 2020-2021 president for the National Auctioneers Association, Jennifer Gableman. The foundation. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer will have a little bit more to talk about in a few minutes. For vice president, we're presenting Sid Miedema, and Sid has completed his first term as trustee. We have 3 individuals who have agreed to serve as trustee for a 3-year term. As I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Mark Rogers. Judd Graff. Michael Up. Thank you all for agreeing to serve. Your involvement will make the foundation even stronger. At this point, I would like to affirm the election of Jennifer Gableman as the foundation's president, Sid Miedema as vice president, Mark Rogers, Judd Graff, Michael Up as board of trustees. According to a text that Hannes is not sending me, we have no contest. Yeah, the elections have not closed and there's no contested, so we're going to keep moving on into this. So the affirmation of the slate is now complete, and congratulations to Jennifer, Sid, Mark, Judd, and Michael. At this time, I would now like to introduce you to the 2021-2022 President of the National Auctioneers Foundation of Trustees, Jennifer Gableman. And please take a few minutes and share with us what she has envisioned for the next year. Jennifer?
Thank you, Christy. However, before you sit down, I would like to give you, please come forward as we recognize Christy for her service this last year. Because of her efforts, not just this year, but during her entire term, we've got a stronger organization. It's better than it's ever been before. Therefore, on behalf of the National Auctioneers Foundation Board of Trustees, I'd like to honor her with this recognition. This plaque that reads, Christy King, President, National Auctioneers Foundation, 2020 to 2021. As we've learned this morning, the foundation has been important in the continuation of the NAA and its support in the auction industry. In the last few years, we've been so focused on ensuring that the foundation has been able to continue our work with scholarships and funding the pragmatic needs of the NAA that we have not made the other parts of our work a priority. Our tagline is honoring our legacy, empowering our future. Our future is strong. We have almost reached our goal of the endowment, but there is so much work to be done. My entry into this business was through my uncle and aunt, Robin Sue Doyle. Both of them have committed themselves and our company to ensuring the future of the foundation. And if anybody knows Rob Doyle, they know that his commitment to preserving the history is not only for the NAA, but also to the auction industry. I hope that we can now spend some time making our history more visible on our website and at our headquarters. I would also like to give a special thank you to Robin Sue for bringing my husband Phil and I into this remarkable industry. And thank you all to the donors for making the foundation a priority in your giving lives. I look forward to serving you for this next year.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. If there is no more business, I will declare the meeting of the foundation closed, but please remain in your seats for the 2021-2022 National Auctioneers Foundation installation ceremony. I'd like to ask the 2020-2023 trustees, including Michael, Mark, and Judd, along with Terry Walker, who will be the incoming NAA representative, to please join us down front as past President Jay Nitz leads us through the oath of office. As well as Susan Henson, who is the Legacy Youth Scholarship Committee representative.
Can I go off script? No. As everyone gathers down in front here for the installation of officers, with last year's inability to meet in person, I was unable to express my sincere gratitude and what an honor and a privilege it was to be a part of the foundation for the last 9 years. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your contributions, your help, your assistance, and your willingness to serve. in this wonderful organization that we all love and hold dearly. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you to each and every one of you that have helped and have served. And I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that this new board coming in, the foundation is in extremely, extremely good hands. So anyway, with that, it is my pleasure and my privilege to officially install you as officers and directors of the National Auctioneers Foundation Board of Trustees. I congratulate you on the opportunity which has been given to you to serve your organization. I know that you will be faithful in the performance of your duties, looking always to the interest and welfare of the National Auctioneers Foundation as a whole. Would you all please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully execute the office to which you have been elected, conforming to the Articles of Incorporation and bylaws of the National Auctioneers Foundation? If so, please respond, I do. I think that would have been, I will, would have been better, Hannes. That sounds a little like a marriage acceptance. But anyway, may I extend my personal congratulations to each one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present you to you the officers and directors of the National Auctioneers Foundation. Now, we will take a short 5-minute break as we prepare to reconvene the NAA business meeting. And from a new has-been, again, thank you again, everyone, for your support of the foundation and the NAA.
No, I don't think that.
No.
But
I mean,
Terry wasn't president then.
well, I don't
She
think,
would've-
if she would have been, I don't think she'd have stepped up anyhow.
Oh, I would have sat. Thank you. Sat in my seat and chewed my nails and do anything else I can do to survive that.
You've done good. Oh, that, it come off better than I anticipated.
But it really
Yeah,
was supposed to be.
thank you. Brent Weirs.
Yeah, and you know, I voted after. I was going to wait and vote today. And I thought, that's too much pressure on me. Because I was going to. you an hour.
No, I just want to. No, sir. I have down there, so I'm sorry. We just had my jokes. So I'm not like. I'm sorry.
Hey, no peeking. Hey, hey,
I'm sorry.
Susan, no peeking. No peeking. No peeking. No peeking. No peeking. Huh? Oh, really?
I mean, you know, it's not on due respect, but just.
Okay.
Today, is there some kind of,
Okay. You can. Okay.
I mean, not this, but every.
Thank you.
Dennis, I'm standing here whenever.
Especially for all the people who do virtual. The speeches at the open session to Madam President and not Madam Master. Could you imagine if we done them on the Viking Stadium? That would be great. But no, we could have done it here yesterday.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
Good time.
I call this meeting back to order at 10:13 a.m. Central Time. I would like to continue with the Treasurer's Report from Mr. Craig King.
Thank you, President Terry and National Auctioneers Association members. I'd like to give you a treasurer's report at this time. First of all, this past Tuesday, your board of directors reviewed and approved the audit committee's recommendations to approve the 2020 financial audit. I'd like to first thank the audit committee that's chaired by Tommy Rowell for their review and support this year. Also on the audit committee serving this year, Jason Buer, J.J. Dower, and Chris Pratt. So I'd like to thank these individuals for their assistance and help on the audit committee. This past year, a longtime Director of Finance and Administrative Services, Rhonda Truitt, left the NAA's service. But we're fortunate that we have an outstanding replacement for Rhonda. And if you haven't met Jennifer Jansen, you need to do so. Go by and say hi to her at the NEA registration counter. Marin Company conducted the National Auctioneers Association's audit. First of all, the National Auctioneers Association, we're responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in accordance with accounting principles. Our auditor's responsibility is to express an opinion on these financial statements of our audits and perform the audit to obtain reasonable assurances about whether these financial statements are free from material misstatements. An audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence and the amount of disclosures in financial statements. And it is our auditor's opinion that the financial statements referred to are present fairly in all material respects and financial position of the National Auctioneers Association. Marin Company's audit noted that the National Auctioneers Association has cash assets as of December 31st, 2020 in the amount of $2,143,000. Of that, they recognized over $1,200,000 which came from our investments. Our total liabilities for 2020 were $1,103,000, and to get a little bit more granular, we earned $1,736,000 in revenue for 2020. And with our expenses, we grew our net assets from $882,000 from the beginning of the year to $1,040,000 at the end of 2020. We will have copies of that audit by the end of next week up on the NAA website if you would like to review that. I'd also like to speak to the great job your board did this past year in making timely and important adjustments due to the COVID in early 2020. To say it was uncertain times would be a misstatement because it was extremely uncertain times. We knew as a board that we needed to make some adjustments. We need to adjust our expenses and look at things. I worked closely with Hannes and asked Hannes to come up with some recommendations, some reductions that could be made to our budget. And she gave me a list of reductions that she recommended. On the top of that reduction list was Hannes reducing her own salary over $10,000. So anyway, I thank her for that. And fortunately, this past year, we've been able to make her whole on that. But thank you, Hannes, for that commitment. Of course, we made those reductions. The concern is our main revenue sources that come from conference and show, our membership, our educational programs, and your NAA staff. And Hannes did a great job in turning on a dime when we had to cancel our conference and show in San Diego due to their closing down and not allowing conventions of our type to be held in the city and state, and turn that into a highly profitable event. And then moved our CAI event to a virtual event, again, very successful. Your foundation stepped in, as Bill reported earlier, in a time of need and funded all of our educational programs. And then earlier this year, Hannes obtained 164,000 PPP funds that we are in the process of seeking full forgiveness for. So all these efforts have caused the NAA to be in good financial condition through these uncertain times and well positioned for the future. I'm honored to have served as your treasurer over the last 2 years, and I've enjoyed the time working with you and working with this board and executive committee. And if you have any questions related to the finances, feel free to ask me, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Craig. I believe people are where they need to be when they need to be there. We are fortunate you are here with us to serve as treasurer. Hannes, the floor is yours.
Excuse me. My legs aren't working here. There we go. Nope.
Watch for me to stand up behind you.
Thank you, President Walker. I won't take much time. I know y'all really want to hear from Terry and you want to hear the election results, but I wanted to take a minute, especially after last night. What an amazing gift you all gave me last night. The comments, everything was just over and above what I could have ever dreamed of, much less expected. I just was humbled by it all. I've been humbled the whole week by people's words, and I'm going to get emotional, so I'm going to go back to my script because that's why I wrote it out. My affiliation with NAA has been the highlight of my professional career, no doubt about it. And in addition, and probably even more importantly, I've made lifelong friendships that will continue long after I leave NAA. You know, I think a lot of us reevaluated our lives during the pandemic. And one of the things that I realized is that I need a new challenge, and NAA needs new life. One of the things that you have done is you have transferred your entrepreneurial spirit to me. So I'm not entering the auction business. Trust me, I won't do that. But I will be doing something that I am very passionate about, association work. So when I leave in September, I'm starting a new business called Governance Directions. And hopefully I can work with other associations and their boards on things that we have done here at NAA, because we've done some really good work. I want you to know something, though. Regardless of where I go or what I do, I will always, always be an advocate for NAA and all of you. I believe in the auction method. I believe and I really love it. It's a part of me. And I want you to know how much I appreciate that you have shared not just your professional lives, but your personal lives with me. That has been so important. It's been my honor and my privilege to work for you. I want you to realize, and I say this, I've said it before, you have given me way too much credit because it's not me that does all of the work. I have an incredible team at NAA headquarters that makes me look good every single day. And I wish I could name every one of them and have them stand here in front of you, because you need to know what a great, hardworking team you have working for you. There is one person that I do want to recognize, and I know she's not in the room, but I know most of you know her. And if you do know her, please find her, give her a hug, and say thank you. Joyce Peterson, our conference manager, will have been working for NAA for 20 years in September. She is an amazing asset to this organization, and I have been just very fortunate to have worked with her for the last 13. I will be very honest in that I worked with her as well beforehand at the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, so I knew what an asset she was when I came to work at NAA. When you see Joyce, give her a hug. In fact, when you see any NAA staff member, please, please let them know how much you appreciate them. You all gave me so much, but they're the ones who are doing all the work. They really are. Thank you so much for allowing me the pleasure of working with you for the last 13 years, and I truly hope our paths will cross again. Thank you. Madam President? Thank you. Okay, let's sit down. I'm going to start crying, and I don't mean anything. Just tell him, sit down.
She's scolding me for allowing y'all to stand and applaud her. Hannes, thank you for your service to us and also letting us know what you're going to be doing, because yes, we still have your phone number. And now I am thrilled to introduce to you a friend of mine for many, many years. We received a call on Sunday letting us know that Congressman Billy Long, NAA honorary member, has some open time, and we asked him to come to Minneapolis, and look who showed up. Congressman Long has come to give us a bit of a report of what is going on in D.C. Come on up, Billy.
All right, kid. God love you. Tell you how far we go back. 1979, went to Missouri Auction School, and one of my classmates had a beard down to here and hair down to here, and I'm like, that's a hippie. I don't think I'm going to get along with that guy. Then he comes over and introduces himself. He says, I'm from Southeast Missouri, you're from Southwest Missouri. I think we're going to be good friends. And I'm like, not a chance. Till I met his wife. Lance and I were classmates, Missouri Auction School in 1979. And I want to take you back to a couple of weeks ago at 2:05 in the afternoon in Washington, D.C. I was sitting at the Capitol Hill Club, which is our kind of our Republican club right across the street from the, now who's calling?
That's $25.
All right. But, so anyway, I'm sitting there, and at 2:05 in the afternoon on Tuesday, I get a text from Fox News, and it said, if you can get down to McAllen tomorrow, which is hard to do from D.C., Sean Hannity has 2 seats for you on the front row where he's going to interview President Trump and Governor Greg Abbott. And so I called Barbara, who happened to be, she's not in town that much, but she happened to be in town. She'd gone out with me the day before. And I said, fix me a ham sandwich and a turkey sandwich. I'm going to the airport to go to Texas. And so she thought that was pretty unusual, because usually I want 3 sandwiches. So I ran by the apartment, threw some stuff in a bag. She gave me the sandwiches, go over to the Baltimore airport, get there 5 minutes before boarding, land in Dallas, 3-hour delay, get into the hotel down there at 3:17 in the morning when I finally put my stuff in the room. And but got to go down there with the president. And the president, I mean, it's great having the nexus of being an auctioneer, because the president loves when I auction things. And so he's standing up there at the podium the other day. Some of you have seen this video. Others, I can get it to you. My cards are on the table down here. They've got my personal cell phone on them. If you'll pick up one of my cards and text me your name and whatever, I'll have your number when you text me. But I can send you that link if you'd like. But the president's standing there at the podium, and Governor Greg Abbott's sitting next to him on the platform. They're at the border. You've got the wall here and the unbuilt wall here, where they stopped the wall when Biden came in. And he said, Billy Long, said, everybody know Billy? He said, Billy, auction something. Don't auction the presidency, and don't auction the governorship, but auction the unfinished portion of the wall. So I turned around and sold the unfinished portion of the wall for $9 million. And everybody got a pretty good kick out of that. But then last weekend, I was at the CPAC in Dallas, and Lance had asked me if I could come up here to the convention. And I said no, because it conflicts. I thought it was on the same weekend. So I texted him at some point. I said, how are things going at the convention? He said, it doesn't start till Tuesday. And I'm like, really? So I looked at my calendar, and I cleared everything for the next 3 days and flew up here. And I was here all day yesterday, and I'll be here all day tomorrow. But when I walked, I'm so glad to be. I mean, I love you people. You are my industry. I was a 24-year-old real estate broker, about to starve to death in 1979. Interest rates were 16, 17, 18% on a home loan. You couldn't give away a house. The economy was in a shambles. Gasoline was higher than a cat's back. And like I said, interest rates were out of control. So I drove up to Kansas City, Missouri, and went to the Missouri Auction School. And I mean, I dug in. I learned everything I could. I went to the Nashville Convention a few months later in 1980 and never let up. I got in CAI, talked my way in too early. At that time, you had to be in the business 3 years. And I'd been in about 1 year and 3 months or something, and I conned them into letting me go. A lot of friends that were in CAI with me are here still today. But when I walked in the hotel the other night, I looked over, and Jim Murphy was sitting there by Hack Ayers, and he was talking to J.L. Todd. Chuck Cumberland was there, and Bing Carter. They were all here in the lobby of the hotel the other day. In my mind, they were. Those were my mentors. They're gone now. But those were the people that I, as a 24-year-old kid sitting where you're sitting, that I looked up to and marveled at and became real good friends with from coming to conventions. And those are the legacies that we need to uphold and build today. My first convention in Nashville, I'm sitting at breakfast, a guy comes up to me, to me and my family. He says, my mom and dad were with me, I was single at the time. He said, I'm Bob Musser, and I'm running for NAA director. And I was so impressed that someone running for NAA director would take the time to stop and talk to a new auctioneer. And but you all, I mean, everybody said, oh, we're glad you're here this week, Billy, we're glad you're here. You're not near as glad as I am that I'm here. And there used to be a ton of kids at these things, so I don't know, maybe if you had the convention in Branson, Missouri sometime, middle of the country, everybody could drive to it, and a lot of family fun things to do. Maybe we could get more kids at a future convention, and maybe instead of a Congress, I could maybe speak to you as a U.S. Senator if things go right. If things go right for me in this next few months, but I'm working hard, and I'm getting ready to announce for that pretty soon, just within a short period of time, but I've been working very, very hard in that vein. Somebody said, I do, I will. Who was that, Scott, or somebody was up here earlier and said, you know, I do sounds more like a wedding than I will when you all were getting sworn in. Our youngest daughter, Kelly, she's 32 now. She was stricken with Hodgkin's lymphoma back 7 years ago. We thought we were going to lose her. I couldn't have called Scott Musser. I couldn't have called a friend. I couldn't have called a foe. I didn't talk to anybody on the phone for 2 weeks. We were crestfallen because our daughter was diagnosed with a large mass, malignant mass in her chest. And through the good works of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, she was too old to go to St. Jude, but the protocols that have been developed at St. Jude over the years saved her life. And she got married last October 24 of last year. So we're at the rehearsal, the church, the same church Barbara and I got married at, that Lance and Terry, he'd shaved by then, thankfully. But when Barbara and I got married in 1984, Lance and Terry were there, and so Lance and Terry come to Kelly's wedding, and she plays the harp for everybody. And where's your harp today?
I forgot it.
But we're at the rehearsal the day before, and I'm standing there by Kelly, you know, where the father of the bride's supposed to stand, and the preacher goes, and who gives away this, what is it, daughter or whatever? Who gives away this woman to be married or whatever? And I said, I do. The whole room goes, her mother and I do. So I had one line and I messed it up. So, but I didn't mess it up the next day. One real quick thing on the St. Jude tie. I always sit on the aisle. I go about 8 in the morning, sit there all day at the State of the Union so I can display my St. Jude tie. For two of the years that Trump was in, I had him stop and sign it on the way out, and the press goes wild. What Long gave him something to sign. What Long have him sign? Well, I had him sign my St. Jude tie because I'm passionate about St. Jude and your all's relationship with St. Jude. And you all auctioned it for me a couple of years ago, brought $15,000, and we gave the money to St. Jude. I have had him sign 2 more since then. We were going to do one last year when the conference and show, excuse me. We used to call them conventions, but the conference and show was canceled, and so I've got a couple of those coming up. At the State of the Union a couple of years ago, if you remember, Nancy Pelosi famously ripped up the president's speech. And so, as history has it, the president walks up the aisle. I have him sign my tie. I immediately jump down. It's about that far where in the seats I was sitting off the ground. I jump down and I follow him out. So she's ripped up this speech. He signs my tie. I'm following him out. And I get out the back door of the chamber, and we turn down the hall, and everybody's wanting their picture with Trump, and we're walking off, and it dawns on me, you know what that speech is worth? A ripped-up speech by the Speaker of the House? What could I auction that for? So I make a beeline around the end and head down the aisle to get up on the podium where she had thrown the speech down. I thought, I'm going to get that sucker, and I'm going to sell it and give the money to charity. And so I walk in, the chamber has cleared. There's one person in the chamber, right in the middle of the aisle, and it's Speaker Pelosi. And she's showing that speech up to people in the gallery like it's a 10-pound bass she just caught. She's so proud. So she had gone back up to the podium, gotten the speech. And I said, Nancy, I said, we need to auction that off. She said, what? And I said, she's still showing it to her friends up in the gallery. And I said, we need to auction that off. I said, you won't believe how much it'll bring. We can donate it to a charity. No, I'm going to keep it for posterity. I had to go home and look that up in the dictionary. But yeah, I want to keep it for posterity. I said, no, I said, you pick the charity. I don't care. It'll bring a fortune. So anyway, and then I found out later I probably would have got arrested because it became government property and they had to preserve it and all that. So it's probably a good thing that I didn't auction it off. But I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a phone number, 417-88-FED-UP, 417-88-FED-UP, and then my official, that's my campaign office, 417-88-FED-UP, if you want to call and visit with us anything about, future comings and goings of what I'm doing on the campaign trail. But this is my official website, and I want you to write this one down because I write a report, kind of inside baseball, on what's actually going on in Washington every Friday. I'm working on it today because tomorrow it goes out. But it's long.house, HOUSE.gov, G-O-V. So it's long.house.gov, and when that page opens up, you scroll down just a little bit and you'll see long, short reports, and you'll see all the titles of my short reports that I've done. They're all 7 days apart, you'll notice, because they always come out on a Friday. But you all, I don't want to get into what's going on in D.C. right now because, quite frankly, I don't know. But people say, what are you doing in Congress these days? And I say, nothing. We don't start that till noon. But until we get back to the majority, it's going to be tough sledding up there. But I love you all. You are my people. I raised my kids here. Kayleen, our 35-year-old pediatrician, her first convention was in California, and I think it was Smiley Burnett spoke at that convention. No, it wasn't Smiley. It was Slim Pickens maybe. But anyway, Harvey McRae was in Hannis's position at that point, and he took Kayleen up to the front of the room at 2 months old and said, this is our youngest member here at the convention. And now that 2-year-old daughter of an auctioneer is a pediatrician in Springfield, Missouri. Both girls are back home. We've got Kelly worked in D.C. for 8 years. She worked for Joni Ernst, for those of you from Iowa, in Senator Ernst's office. And then she said, I want to move home and get married. And so she did that. But Barbara's been with me every step of the way. She's great. She doesn't want anybody to know she's a congressman's wife, which is super, because some of these spouses put a desk in their husband's office or their wife's office in D.C. because they want to, kind of be the congressperson, I guess. But Barbara does if she was here today, she'd be further back in the back than John Nichols is. I mean, she'd be in the furthest corner. And they say, where's Barbara? I say, I don't go look at one of the corners, because she always wants to stay out of the way, but she does great work. If we try and have an event in D.C., people say, is Barbara going to be there? They don't care about seeing me. They want to make sure Barbara's there. But like I said, I don't know if you're happy I'm here or not, but I'm happier than you are that I'm here, because you're my people, and I love you, and God bless you, and thank you all.
Thank you, Billy. We are so pleased that you are here. I'd like to take a few minutes and echo what Hannes and Craig have said. Even after COVID, NAA is financially stable. And even more, we are well positioned with a new strategic plan that was approved last December. This year, we have been working to put flesh on this plan and to identify our metrics of success that we called KPIs, or Key Performance Indicators. This plan provides us strategic goals based on 4 cornerstones: promotions, advocacy, community, and education, or PACE to 2030. Each year we will develop action plans for each of the strategic goals, and our budget will be tied to those action plans. We've already seen that we are working hard to increase and improve our communications to the membership and to the public. The Promotion Committee has introduced a new blog, How Auctions Work, and we have already seen success through our metric tied to this. People are reading the blog and then going to find an auction professional, to look for an NAA auction professional that meets their needs, either geographically or by asset type. The committee has also begun a monthly podcast for auctioneers entitled The Auction Advocate. It integrates information about the industry that members need in a fun and interesting way. In an upcoming issue of Auctioneer, we're going to ask staff to print some of the statistics that we have shared, that have been shared with us, because they are so very impressive. The Advocacy Committee will be holding a session tomorrow morning to discuss the public policy agenda that the board just approved yesterday. What are the issues that are meaningful to you and to your business? Go to the Lake Shore Ballroom at 8:30 a.m. and find out. Our community committee is looking at ways to enhance our networking experiences. Most people join NAA for that reason. So how do we make that more meaningful? And how do we measure our success in this area? We are working on that now. Education continues to change and improve, being relevant to what you need. This past year, we transitioned to virtual education. This is our first live event in more than a year. Last year, we had more than 650 people who participated in the various educational programs. It's not just online education. It is high-quality educational programs, topics that you need taught by instructors who know how to teach, many of them from outside the auction industry. Promotions, advocacy, community, and education. We are on the pace to 2030, ensuring that NAA will be the voice of the industry, and it is underpinned by strong governance. Although Hannes is leaving, and we're still not happy about that, Pace to 2030 will be a place for a new staff leader to come in, add to it, and drive us further, faster. Yesterday in the town hall meeting, we talked about the search to replace Hannes. So I won't go through this again, and I won't address the position paper that the board approved this past Tuesday, as we discussed that as well. We are working to communicate to members more and more. We want to hear from you. So please, during the next year, contact Beth or call me. You have a question or a suggestion. We want to hear from you. And speaking of Beth, at this point, I would like to ask for a motion affirming her succession to the office of President of NAA.
Madam President, I move we affirm the election of Beth Rose as President of the National Auctioneers Association.
All of those present who approve this motion, say aye. Aye. Beth, if you will please join me at the podium, I would like to award you the 2021-2022 President's Pin.
Get it? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Terry, thank you. And thank you to all the NAA members. I am so humbled by your vote and your faith in me to lead this great organization at this time. Last year, I had to do my candidate speech by video. This year, it's so good. We need to see each other. We do. But last year, when I talked about how many of us are at a crossroads in our business, I said, should we take a more aggressive approach and a path for our business, or should we wait until life returns to normal? I believe NAA is at the same crossroad. The board has worked extremely hard over the past 2 years, delivering services to you that helped keep you and your businesses afloat during the pandemic, and developing a long-term plan that will lead us into the next decade. I said last year I would be committed to you, and I stand in front of you today saying I will not waver from that commitment. I am humbled and I am honored to serve as your president for the 2021 and 2022 year. As much as I will miss Hannes dearly, 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 I am looking forward to working with a new staff leader to ensure that NAA becomes the organization we all want it to be, a vibrant, strong, and voice of the auction industry. I am so excited to give you some great news. If you were at the town hall meeting yesterday, I said we're busting at the seams to tell you something. We've been busting at the seams. We have been hard at work to be able to offer you vital tools. And I am so excited to announce that NAA has partnered with Genie Rocket for our members only. This is a CRM program that we're getting into before, we don't have, if you look at the trade show, there's not a CRM company down there. We're giving you the vital tools. We're able to provide you, and if you're not using a CRM program, you're gonna learn a lot. They're going to extensively train each and every one of us. The biggest question was, do we own our own data? Yes, you do. You own your own data, but this program is going to allow you for lead generation. Where are the sellers? Lead conversion, seller conversion, sales funnels, being able to track your data, being able to use that data. We all have monthly fees that we use, from anything from email blasting to Google reviews. This is all together as one package. And the exciting news is it's proprietary to our members only. Thank you. This is all part of the Coach Burt program. And we've been hard at work the last week in the committee in order to be able to offer this to you. By the way, at such significant discounts, you can't believe that you can get it for this. I personally have a sales funnel and CRM, and I spend a whole lot of money per month. I no longer have to do this. And this is one of your added value benefits of being a member. So we are so excited. I'm excited to be your president. For those of you that know me, I love the work that I do for the NAA, and I will continue to work hard for you. And I thank you for your trust in me. Thank you all.
Thank you, Beth. We are so fortunate to have you as our leader going forward. This year, Brent Wares serves as chair of the election committee. I now invite Brent to deliver the committee's report and to provide the election results.
Thank you very much, Terry. Last year we conducted the elections by electronic means, and it was so successful that we decided to continue this manner of voting. As noted, we have 1 candidate for vice president, 2 for treasurer, and 4 candidates for 2 director positions. officer positions should be decided by majority vote, the position of directors by plurality. This year, we had 780 ballots cast. As we did last year, we will be announcing vote totals today. At this point, we will provide the results of the election. The following votes have been cast and tabulated. Sherman Hotstetter for Vice President, 720 votes of affirmation. For Treasurer, Ailey Byers, 418 votes. Harold Musser, 337 votes. For Director, Jay Cash, 400 votes. Matt Ford, 295 votes. Morgan Hobson, 402 votes. And Jeff Martin, 275 votes.
The chair declares that Sherman Hostetler has been affirmed as Vice President, and for Treasurer, Ailey Byers has been elected. For Directors, Morgan Hobson and Jay Cash have been elected. Congratulations to all of you. And a special thanks to all the candidates for your interest and your support of NAA. Since there is no unfinished business at this point, Hannes, have we seen any messages for new business?
Let me check one more time. No.
Seeing none, I would ask that the outgoing chairman of the board, Jason Winter, deliver the oath of office to the 2021-2022 Board of Directors. Would all the board that will be serving next year, including Mike Fisher and Chair of the Education Institute Trustees, Sid Miedema, as Vice President of the National Auctioneers Foundation, and Dick Kiko as Beth's presidential appointee, and Sherman as Vice President, Ailey Byers as Treasurer, Jay Cash and Morgan Hobson as directors. Join the remaining board members down below. Okay, Jason.
So
We go down. Yeah, quickly as possible.
Down there?
Yeah. Come on down.
All right. Actually, I'm going to do something. I'm off script, Hannes. If I'm talking to y'all, please, can you kind of turn a little bit towards me so I can talk to y'all? The best side, turn and look at me. No. I feel like I am the responsible one for inducting them in for your board of directors, and I want to see them as I do that. I hope that's okay. It is my pleasure and privilege to officially install you as officers and directors of the National Auctioneers Association. I congratulate you on the opportunity which has been given to you to serve your organization. I know that you will be faithful in the performance of your duties, looking always to the interests and the welfare of the National Auctioneers Association as a whole. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of which you have been elected or appointed, conforming to the articles of the incorporation, bylaws, and code of ethics of the National Association? If so, please say, I do. I do. May I extend to you my personal congratulations to each of you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present you the officers and directors of the National Auctioneers Association. The annual business meeting for the National Auctioneers Association is now adjourned. Yeah, we need foundation, we need the board to stick around for pictures and probably meet right up here